Michael Jackson's doctor, Conrad Murray, learned his fate today, 4 years behind bars for involuntary manslaughter. The question is, will he actually do that time, and was justice served? Joining me now are two members of Murray's defence team, attorney J. Michael Flanagan and spokesman FIerrio. Gentlemen, obviously a tough day. I mean, he got the maximum sentence. I was watching it live, and it was pretty elongated, the judge's sentence decision-making. But as he got going, you could tell the anger welling up inside him, and he clearly wanted to throw not just the book but the library at your client. Why do you think he took so against Conrad Murray? Because my experience has been with almost all the guests I've had, very mixed feelings about this case, in the sense of, okay, he may have been partly responsible for Michael Jackson dying, but he didn't do it deliberately.
Well, you just noticed it today. I've noticed it for almost 2 years. I mean, this judge has been angry with us the entire time. And today was just a real opportunity for him to vent his anger.
Why, Michael?
You know, I just think that...
Mark, sorry.
That's all right. I think from the very beginning, this trial was about what the jury never got to hear. I would be furious if I sat on that jury for 6 weeks and never knew that Michael Jackson was $400 million in debt. You heard over and over again that Conrad Murray was paid $150,000 a month. You never heard that he was never paid 1 cent, not a dime.
I mean, the counter would be, presumably, he expected to be. I mean, that was why he agreed to take the job.
Not only was he not paid, he maxed out all of his credit cards caring for Michael Jackson.
Describe the relationship between Conrad and Michael Jackson. It was clearly complicated. All the previous patients, I had 4 of them in here one day, very powerful testimony in Conrad's favor. They couldn't recognize any of this picture being built about him at all. And yet the cynic would say, in the end, he took the money, the fame, he wanted the glamour job, the big payday.
As you heard from the other patients, they all basically thought of themselves as friends. Conrad Murray thought of Michael Jackson as his best friend. Michael Jackson thought of Conrad Murray that way. Conrad Murray was the only one allowed upstairs in his house. It's incredible. Conrad Murray, the saddest day of his life was not today, or wasn't the day that he was convicted. It's the day he lost his friend, Michael Jackson.
One of the most furious passages, I guess, of the judge's sentencing came when he alluded to this documentary that Conrad took part in. You didn't put the client on the stand, obviously. Let's watch a little clip from this and then discuss this.
I can cross-examine him and he wouldn't stand a chance. I'll swipe him like a sword. He's stupid. However, I take offense when my damn attorney is not prepared for that man.
When he never said he gave a drip.
I disagree with you. He gave a drip. It says here. Dr. Murray goes, the dose and the drip. Line 22. He says it. This is about that night.
Flanagan gotta wake up. He needs a lot of coffee and some Pit Bull or Red Bull for after lunch and end the story. This is why I said I'm available.
I mean, you know, whether to laugh or cry watching that, I guess, because, you know, I don't know. I felt uncomfortable watching that, I'll be honest with you, because if you're not going to have him speak in public in the court case, why let him do a documentary? Isn't that going to be antagonistic?
He needed to do the documentary. He was out of funds. He had no money to even for living expenses, much less all the expenses he had for his children. We had expert witness fees to pay, and you know, it wasn't for the attorneys, but he got paid some money. I don't know exactly what the numbers were, and it was used for living expenses. And by the way, that piece, I said, Conrad, you threw me under the bus. He says, Mike, I was hot. I was mad at that witness, and I just wanted you to rip him up, and you didn't rip him up, and I'm sorry. He said that, you know, if you'll just stick with me, we'll do it your way next time.
I mean, everybody has known about these celebrity doctors, for want of a better phrase, who for a long time have administered stuff to famous people in their homes within the vicinity of his very studio in Los Angeles. And some feel Conrad Murray became a scapegoat for this practice that's been going on a long time. Others say Michael Jackson was a fully grown man in his middle age, probably been doing this for quite a while and should have been responsible for himself. But then there are the others many in the medical profession who say what Conrad Murray did was fundamentally unethical and wrong. No doctor should have done what he did. Do you accept that?
I just got to say this. This is what was fundamentally different about this case. Michael Jackson had backed himself into a corner. And had Conrad Murray walked away for a single day, not only would Michael Jackson have been $400 million in debt, he would have lost the catalog. He would have been penniless. Conrad Murray didn't know that he was going to die. He knew it wasn't a perfect setup. But had he walked for a single day, they'd already been warned. We'll pull the plug. That's the end of the tour. Michael Jackson was living in a rented home. Had Conrad Murray walked away from his friend for one day, Michael Jackson would have been penniless. Would he have been alive today? I don't know. He had been chasing that propofol thing for a long time.
A couple of quick questions before we have to leave it. Will you appeal?
Yes.
And secondly, the family are indicating they may sue for up to $100 million. Does Conrad Murray have any money?
Well, the judge might assess restitution damages in the sum of $100 million in January when we have to go back to court. It doesn't matter whether he assesses him $100 million or $1 million. Conrad Murray doesn't have the money. He can't pay it. And now that his livelihood has been stripped from him, he probably never will have the ability to pay that kind of money.
Were you expecting the worst today?
Today, yes. I've been expecting the worst ever since the jury said guilty. I knew where this judge stood.
And how is Conrad today?
I haven't talked to him today. I'm meeting with him tomorrow. And but he was strong last Wednesday and the day before when I saw him. You know, it was a devastating blow to get convicted, but he's been put into a situation, and you know, there's survival instincts, and he's doing okay.
Well, a sad case for everyone involved. Michael Flanagan, FIerrio, thank you both very much.